Hey guys. So there are so many things I want to say because I was making dinner and I was thinking of all of you because I'm thinking there are so many moms right now. We're all making dinner at this time of day and the kids are doing their thing and we're like, want our house to look, I know how I am. I like for my house to look nice and neat, and we're packing and we're moving, we're doing all that, and all this stuff is going on with dinner. And I thought, I know what I'll do. I will make a video just talking about, I don't know if I can just talk about food without talking about God. I don't know why this little hair won't stay in place. Okay, got it. Got it, maybe. Okay, got it. Okay, so tonight we are having, this is gonna sound weird, but if you've never tried this, okay, if you hate sweet potatoes, this is not for you. But if you can even stand sweet potatoes, I'm gonna tell you that this is so good. So it is like a taco on a sweet potato. Doesn't that sound disgusting? It does, but it is so good. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. First of all, we are a family of 6. So I buy sweet potatoes by the box. Kiln dried sweet potatoes from my local people. 4-H, man on the side of the road, friends selling them, whoever. So I have my big box of sweet potatoes. For 6 of us, that doesn't take long. Oh, side note. My kids don't really like dinner, okay? Like, I don't want you to be confused and think like, oh, Terry's gonna make this food and her kids are gonna be like, Mom, this is the best food, you're amazing. That is not how this goes. But what I do at the dinner table is kind of a different topic. So my kids' age range from, their ages are 5 to 12, okay, for children. So anyway, so I get my sweet potatoes. Everybody gets a sweet potato. I actually used to cook these for a long time in my oven. Then I got this amazing Ninja air fryer with these 2 big buckets. So I can easily do 6 sweet potatoes. I just poke them with a fork, put them in, air fry on like 350 for like 40 minutes. Depends on the size of potato. Perfect potato. If you go just right, the skin stays soft. If you go too long, the skin gets too crunchy to eat. I like to eat the skin of all the things because that's where a lot of goodness, fiber, vitamin, all that is. So, okay. So, sweet potato. Next thing is, do you know how cheap beans are if you cook them yourself? Do you know how easy they are to cook? Do you know, okay, I'm about to have a kid bust up in this room, so just stick with me here. Do you know that you don't have to soak them for like 7 hours? Okay, so I'm just going to put this out there. It's a little while back. What happens is, you know how when you're watching stuff on YouTube, it sends you other things? And like before you know it, you're like watching these cult people do weird things. And you're thinking, is this me? And it's actually just YouTube deciding what you might want to watch. It's kind of frightening. Anyway, I think I kind of ended up in some of those videos, like watching some of those videos, and I'm like, I don't really feel this way about life, but I can take any information and pick out the good things. Well, one of the good things were buying huge bags of dried beans. I never knew. So with my sweet potatoes, I'm making black beans. So how did I do that? I just put like a thick, like a 1-inch layer of black beans in the bottom of one of my saucepans, covered it till it was like 3 inches underwater, boiled it for 10 minutes. Made it lower, added more water, cut an onion in half, just in half, so it's sitting on top of there. Put the lid on. They've been cooking for a few hours. They can like literally cook on low for a few hours. Anyway, some people Instapot, that sort of thing. I'm like I don't love kitchen gear. So like, I'm like, if I can cut it with a knife or cook it in a pot, that's probably what I'll do. But however you do it, they're delicious. You add some, I had like a tablespoon of salsa, and then I add some salt, a little bit of cumin. Take that onion out of there. Those black beans are amazing. Okay, so I have black beans. My big box of sweet potatoes or yams. I don't know what this size is. I'm like glancing at the box as I talk to you. It's a big box. I paid $25 for it. And then a big bag of black beans is so cheap. You're looking at like less than $10 for, I mean, you could spend $10 on 8 cans of black beans, even maybe 6 cans of black beans. So, sorry, I had to a child visitor, but it was a male child, so he didn't stop to speak to me. It's amazing. Anyway, it's beautiful, isn't it? Anyway, so then I took shrimp. So I try to buy shrimp from a guy who locally sells shrimp. So he goes down to the Gulf, because I'm in Louisiana, and he goes shrimping, and the next day he sells these fresh shrimp for $5 hanging pound. Like that, my answer is yes. So took these shrimp, popped the heads off, got the tails off, used a toothpick, devein it. So easy. Google that if you're like, what is that all about? And then I put like taco seasoning on the shrimp, but it was like homemade taco seasoning. You don't have to have extra junk in your seasoning. You can just literally have like cumin, garlic powder, onion powder, chili powder, parsley, cayenne, salt, and make like the best taco seasoning ever. And then I make a little bit of what we call dirty rice. This is not really dirty rice. So my Cajun friends, I'm sorry, but this is my dirty rice. Cup of rice, 2 cups of water. That's the way you should always cook rice. Get a little pan, or if it's 2 cups of rice, it's 4 cups of water, right? So what I do is I dice up an onion, 1/4 cup of olive oil and onion in the bottom of my little saucepan. Let it cook. Add a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of salt, cup of rice, 2 cups of water, stick the lid on. When that rice is done, that is the best rice you've ever had. The best rice you've ever had. Okay, so then you need Greek yogurt in your fridge. Just replace sour cream with Greek yogurt because it's so many less calories, so high protein, and tastes just as good. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave that there. So this is what our plates will look like tonight. It'll be a sweet potato, and I'll crack it open, and I will put some black beans in it. I'll put some rice in it. I'll put some shrimp on it. I grow cilantro. Cilantro loves cold weather. I'll cut up some fresh cilantro on top. I'll put a little dollop of Greek yogurt and a little sprinkle of cheese. It's gonna be the best dinner, and it's so cheap. You could also do this if you're not a shellfish person. Of course, you could do this with ground beef, ground turkey, however you want it to go. So I just needed to express to you guys that you can have good dinners that don't take a lot of time. Okay, I know the beans kind of take a lot of time, but maybe you could do a crock pot or in a spot. But I'm home all day. I'm a housewife. That's what I do. So being home is really not a big deal. It's okay for me to have a little pot going of beans. So that's going to be dinner. It's going to be delicious. It's going to be simple. It's going to fill the plate. My kids aren't going to like it. I'm actually so I told you what a plate would look like. This is what a plate for a child would look like. It would be the sweet potato cut open, a couple of shrimp on the side, some rice on the side, beans on the side, cilantro on the side, cheese and sour cream on the side with a fork. And then they can make that look however they want it to look. I always try to put a reasonable amount of food on a child's plate. Less. They're little. They have tiny stomachs. So I don't want to say clean your plate, because I think that does bad things to make a child overeat over and over. I don't think that that's good for them or anything. To say like it's right as long as you feel so full that you can't breathe. But I'm not trying to instill that in them. So let's see. What happened with my outside garden is I couldn't keep the tarps on because it was unbelievably windy. It was like 16, 17, 18 degrees outside. And it looks like my broccoli plant leaves have died, but it looks like the plant is still alive, like the broccoli on the inside. So we will see. It's kind of like an experiment. My turnip greens did great. It looks like they're going to be just fine. I got a first cutting. What I learned is I have about 10 turnip green plants. Go change. Bring your wet clothes down. That's fine. Just shut the door. Okay, well, you'll come down here. Go get clothes. Wait, hold on. I'm making a video. Wait. Let me do my video. They're going to talk about it. Sorry, the kids just came in from kayaking and they're wet and freezing. Anyway, I think I have about 10 plants that are turnip greens. By the way, I cooked those things and they were so good. My 10 plants would feed us just 2 meals. What I'm trying to say, guys, is I want a much bigger garden. I need more. I'm asking the Lord, Lord, is this something that I can really spend time on? Because I know where He has my focus and my heart is with my family right now. Ministering to my children and my husband, teaching my kids, training them, teaching them how to do all the school things, but also teaching them compassion and love, teaching them how to cook, how to clean, how to speak, how to live, how to give, how to care, how to reach others, you know. And so that's kind of a full-time job. So anyway, I wanted to share with you, really, if you could just have one takeaway from this, it would be go buy beans in a bag. You're paying unbelievably large amount of money to have beans in a can. And I used to think that I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to have to soak beans overnight, because what if I forget and I grow a whole bowl of beans? What if they all sprout? Because that happened whenever I was first married. Somebody told me to make red beans, that you soak them. They didn't say how long, and after they started sprouting, I called them back. I was like, how long should I soak them? And they were like, oh my goodness, this is a day too long. And so then I had the whole bowl of sprouted red beans. So maybe I just have like, I don't want to do that again. And what if I do that again? If you boil them for 10 minutes, that's equal to the soaking of a whole night. So there you go. Buy your beans in a bag and go to Costco and get the huge bag for like $8. It's unbelievable and it's awesome and it's so inexpensive, and beans are delicious. Okay, that's all.